Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? What is up? Sure everything's plugged in. Trump has free reign to invade Greenland. Yeah, they're gonna have to really start talking about that with that Chinese story I covered today. Gives him the perfect excuse to at least get a little bit more aggressive. So I think they're gonna utilize that. Why would Greenland strengthen their relationship with the Chinese after everything that's happened? It allows Trump. Yeah, that trophy was a weak trophy. JD Vance didn't even drop the trophy. The trophy broke. The bottom part of the trophy, I mean, it's not even the trophy itself, it was the holder. It broke off of the trophy. What do you think Trump would take with Greenland? Ever since the news came out that Greenland and China, do you think he would throw the hammer at Denmark and get the island quicker? Well, I think it gives him more political leverage in terms of justifying a aggressive response when it comes to acquiring it. Because he can say, look, this is happening right here, right now. The EU can't even, there's no way the EU is happy about this. I mean, if it comes to pass, I don't know. You know, I just saw a few stories on it, and then I talk about it, but really no one else talks about it. What is your net worth? Not enough. Because Greenland is liberals, it's irrelevant. There's 57,000 people there. It doesn't matter that they're liberal. Well, they're liberal, I guess, in terms of not liking the United States, but they're really just an extension of the EU. So it's any one of those countries is not going to like the United States with Trump in. What do you think about Carmelo Anthony getting his bond reduced to $250K being released? This is how crazy it is. Have you seen the photos? So a black judge who they're like, oh, she's a Republican, so it's fair, but it's absurd. A black judge lowers the bail from $1 million to $250K. They use money that they got from a Go Send Go, which if you guys are not familiar, it's basically just GoFundMe, but GoFundMe doesn't allow certain campaigns for convicted, or I guess in this case, accused, someone like Anthony who's been accused of murder. So then they lower the bail to $250K, and then they use the money they got from the Go Send Go, which was donated to Anthony to get him out on bail, and then they buy or they rent out an $800,000, like some crazy house. It's like $1 million home in Frisco, Texas or something. It's unbelievable. Heard a rumor that when Carmelo told Austin to see what happens, Austin tried to drag him out and he staffed him. He didn't hurt him. He just tried to drag him out and he wasn't a risk or shit. Yeah, well, I heard it got physical. The only thing that I heard was Anthony said, touch me and see what happens. Let's be honest. Anthony was in the wrong tent. Those are reserved. So Metcalf tells him, you need to leave. Anthony says, touch me and see what happens. And then I think Metcalf touched him, nothing happens. Then he, from what I heard, he pushed him or some type of altercation, and then he stabbed him in the heart. Because you're not just going to just stab someone. It would be very surprising if he would have just stabbed him. So there was some type of, they're going to try and claim self-defense. But I mean, when you say there's no self-defense in terms of, I mean, if Metcalf had a knife, I would understand it, but he didn't have any weapon. Give, send, go. That's what it is. Something like that. Go, send, go. Give, send, go. Dan Caldwell, a top advisor to yeah, I saw that, to Hegseth, been escorted out of the Pentagon after being identified in internal leaks. It reminds me of the Lone Survivor, the one episode from Lone Survivor of the dude that was leaking stuff in the White House. What's up, Daddy? DG. Bro, you send me these $2 messages. They're a bit fruity messages. What's going on, man? Rittenhouse was yeah, but you're comparing completely different cases. The Rittenhouse wasn't even a race case. It was against two white people, and they were both criminals, and they were chasing after him, and they shot at him. China and Greenland just want to start a bidding war. Yeah, but I don't understand the dynamic. How could any NATO country allow China to have influence in Greenland? That would be unbelievably stupid. That's retardio. That seriously is. Trump may be justified to do a military exercise on Greenland. Perhaps it may lead to a military exercise on the Panama Canal too. China might be pushing Trump to invade, so he looks worse to EU. Yeah, but the EU can't be happy with Greenland getting in bed with. But wasn't it Greenland that said they wanted to do a deal? This is all. I guess I would interpret this as Greenland being angry at Trump, and because from what I saw, it was Greenland going to China and saying, "Hey, we want to allow you to do a deal." Because originally Greenland is a proxy to the EU because they're owned by Denmark, and so there's heavy EU influence. That's why all those citizens hate Trump within Greenland. But there's no way that the EU would be happy with this. Greenland is smack dab. Well, it's not even in the middle. It's closer to North America, but it's northern Atlantic, and it's in between North America and Europe. That is NATO. So we're going to allow the number one Eastern adversary to have influence in between both of us. There's no way the EU would allow that. Why does millionaire Bernie pretend to like poor people? Well, that's always the grip that they do. I mean, Bernie, it does seem like Bernie, at least to a degree, believes what he tries to push. I haven't really heard Bernie's thoughts recently on, I guess it's still like the socialist stuff, but it's like, I think it's like a light version of socialism is what he tries to push. I don't know. Bernie really doesn't annoy me much anymore. I just kind of think he's politically irrelevant. I mean, I guess he could be. Honestly, he probably is one of the most relevant Democrats, but it just seems like he's so old, so I don't really pay much attention to him for 2028. And he tried in 2016 and 2020, and people say they stole it from him. I mean, I guess they kind of stole it from him, but it's not like he had this crazy mass support within the Democratic Party. I mean, he had a bunch of young people that supported him. But Greenland, they're escalating this shit, and EU is a bunch of pussies who won't intervene. Well, no, I agree. I think Greenland this is what it needs to be called. It's an exercise to secure the island is what it would be. It's an exercise to secure the island. And that's what I would label it as. It's going to have to be done if this continues. There's no way. This cannot happen. This is like a 180. It's from there being no influence, because the thing is that we were worried about China and Russia influence. There was no influence from China and Russia, but there was also really not a lot of U.S. influence. And now they're saying there's going to be Chinese influence and no U.S. influence. That's not going to happen. No. We're going to take over the island. Look at the geographical location of it. China has no right to even come close to Greenland, let alone now they're doing this trade deal with them. But it said in exchange for Arctic, not territory, but like, I mean, apparently they're going to have some type of support in the Arctic that China would within Greenland. That's why Bernie removed the word millionaires from his anti-rich rants. He can't be hypocritical. Yeah, but to be fair, I mean, millionaires, that's encompassing a lot. I mean, there's a huge difference between somebody worth like 3 million and somebody worth 200 million. Plus, I mean, with the way capitalism works, I mean, it's already known that like 1% of the population pays 50% of the taxes just because of how rich the ultra rich are. But then there's the other side to it, to where they pay most of the taxes. Not going to lie, don't really care about getting Canada or Alberta or Greenland. We need to focus on China. Well, I mean, this is in relation to China. If they get influence within Greenland, I mean, that is a problem. But I mean, the whole focus on China in I don't know. I think China's economy is kind of overrated. They're extremely reliant on us. I think we should be self-sufficient of China for sure. And it seems like Trump is doing things to move in that direction, but it doesn't happen overnight. I mean, this is part of this trade war, and we'll see how this thing works out. But it's kind of a mess right now, this trade war. And the Chinese are really not buckling at all, and there'll probably have to be some drawn-out negotiation, I would imagine. And the deficit with China will probably be cut a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be anything. I mean, it just depends what type of tariffs Trump wants to keep on China. Because at a certain point, you have to have your tariffs in place and then say, I'm done. We're not going to change them at all. This is what they are. Because at some point, you want the economy to really start revving up. And you can't have tariffs hanging over people's heads or like, I might put them on, I might take them off. Yeah, it's got to stop. And Trump knows it has to stop. It's going to stop at some point. I mean, it's really early into this second term. Can we threaten immediately leaving NATO if Denmark doesn't sell immediately? Yeah, but that's going to look pretty weak, honestly, if you're Trump to do that. I feel like you're just kind of flailing if you do that. You don't want to appear weak, like just over Greenland. I think it would be much... I mean, the easiest way to do it would be to just buy them. I mean, the thing with Denmark... The problem is it's a situation where Greenland wants to leave Denmark technically, but they're not doing it quickly. So, I mean, what do you do? I think Trump is trying to push it along, but it's really not working right now. So you have to come with with an offer. The problem is they already hate us, those people. So any of our offers are going to be seen as a negative right now. You heard about the Democrat senators who want to visit El Salvador to protest for Garcia's release. Senators have no authority in foreign relations. Oh yeah, it's total just acting, and you know, people think it's a bad look for the Trump administration. I mean, there were judges that ruled that was an MS-13 gang member. So what do you want us to? I mean, it's an illegal immigrant. It's kind of a complicated situation, though. It's like, is he illegal? Is he not illegal? He came here because he was seeking safety. It's just like, I mean, they're trying to get the Trump administration on any little thing possible, and so obviously they're going really, really hard with that. It is what it is. If Donald Trump was running for a third term, I thought this was Don Jr. I almost fainted. I was like, whew, Don Jr. No, this is the Donald Trump. If he runs for a third term, I mean, I don't know. It's just like a stupid thing. MTG. Tim Scott, really? But it's Trump advance, that's it. So wait, in that moment between 125% and actually 20% where the market was recovered and there was a giant tariff on China, that seems like game over. Bond market was the issue. Well, no, they still have heavy tariffs on China. They still have 145% tariffs on 75% of Chinese imports. What happened was it was a death indicator because the bonds, the rate shot up while the market was crashing, which you wouldn't expect. If the market crashes, people are supposed to buy bonds, which would drive the rates down because there's a supply and demand. So, look, what happened was the bonds ticked up too high, and so they had to reassess. But they kept it on China. The only ones, they removed the tariffs against everyone else down to 10% for a 90-day period so they can negotiate with them. And then they removed the electronics, the semiconductors down on the Chinese to 20%. But those are only, you know, that's only a few sectors. Most of the tariffs against China are still in place. Wouldn't a third term for Trump just play into the Dem narrative that he's being a dictator? I mean, a dictator in what's by being elected democratically. I mean, I don't see how Trump can do it. I've talked about the 12th and the 22nd Amendment. It's The only way it would happen is if liberals would want to amend an amendment and then they'd have Obama run if they're that desperate. And didn't we find out the bond market crashing was non-Chinese countries? Well, it was all of them. It was all of them combined. They panic sold all their treasuries. Oh yeah, Biden made a speech. I think I have it on here actually.
And I'd never seen hardly any black people in Scranton at the time and I was only going in fourth grade. And I remember seeing the kids going by at the time called colored kids on a bus going by. And
that's not very loud. He's like, I don't remember seeing any black people in Scranton. Based Biden. Dark Biden comes back. Dark Biden from the top rope, from the dead. Canada interest rates cut to 2.75%. Man, we need that here. What are we at, 4.5? 4.75? Of course, Trump reposted it, yeah. China's economy is in real trouble. I know it is, but they've just got such a massive economy. It's hard to tell. And they've got a lot of just faulty fake numbers. They lie about a lot of stuff, the CCP does. But yeah, they're in hell in terms of their population. It's very aged. Extremely aged. Because they had a policy with kids and it just destroyed them. Because you're already dealing with just, in general, lower birth rates anyways. And you have like the one-child policy. Explain 7% inflation. We don't have 7% inflation. Our inflation's been going down. It's at 2.4. Dark Brandon makes a comeback. Dark Brandon announces he's running for 2028. Says he doesn't remember seeing any black kids when he was younger. That's what CNN's headline was. Imagine. The Fed is going to play politics. They're going to be forced to cut. Trump made it to where, yeah, I think they definitely play politics if Trump didn't create this turmoil. But there's too much turmoil within the economy for them not to cut eventually. I mean, if you look at any of the metrics, they're going to be cutting probably by that June meeting at the latest. But trust me, they would definitely play politics if it was a borderline thing where, you know, Trump has forced the ball to be rolling. He's kicked it into gear. The cuts are forced. It's not because they want to. It's because they're going to be forced to do it, I think. Unless, I mean, we see somehow higher inflation numbers. I don't think we're going to see that. There's not going to be a reaction quick enough, I don't think, to create the higher inflation. Joe Biden coin pumping. Rapid response. Yale youth poll confirms Republicans 22 to 29-year-olds favor Democrats by 6.4 points. 18 to 21-year-olds favor Republicans by 11.7 points. Really, really young Republicans or young people are going to the Republican Party, it feels like. You know, I saw Cory Booker was in second place in a few different presidential polls. I thought it was funny. I guess if you go out and you speak on the floor for what was it? How many hours did he do it? 24 hours? Did he seriously do it 24 hours, 25 hours? What a joke. Brandon gonna be on Rumble. Yeah, the Groiper show. This dude.
是美国最大的贸易顺差地，但美国依然对香港如此加征关税，简直是蛮横霸道、无耻之极。这让世人更加看清，美国见不得香港好，是破坏香港人权自由、法治秩序和繁荣稳定的最大。
Did you see Bezos was proud of the female crew? Yeah, that was a stunt. Publicity stunt. bro was spitting, man. That was impressive. I saw 4chan get hacked, yeah. I saw something to where it was like, I don't know if that was true, but like they leaked the top accounts and they were all from Israel, like ahead of the United States. I don't know if that's true. If China doesn't need us, why are they fighting so hard to do business with us? Well, of course they need us. They desperately need our consumer base, and right now, unfortunately, we need them because we haven't established enough self sufficiency to be able to eliminate our need for them. But I mean, I still think we have leverage over them. It just comes down to they're very honorable, and they're not just going to give in to us and embarrass themselves on the global stage. It's just not how it's going to work with the Chinese, unfortunately. What was the purpose of the space ride for the plastics surgery commanders? Right, I mean, there was in the Ducklips. Doesn't seem to be really even worth discussing. People say it didn't even happen. They say it was a psyop. What did they even do? It was like an 8-minute ride. What do you think about the openness in which people are anti-Ukraine, but the rarity of politicians to be anti-Israel? Yeah, well, I think that's kind of changing a little bit. The support for Israel is eroding. You can tell, especially with younger both Democrats and Republicans, because of this war. You'll still have the older Republicans support Israel, but I mean, most of the people in Congress will. So that's kind of where you see that. But there's definitely a change in support surrounding Israel. Nixon was one of the worst presidents ever for opening relations with China and legitimizing them. Look at what it's led to. I mean, dude, there's so much revisionist history on presidents, though. Like, I've heard so many people say Nixon was actually good. He got set up. He was one of our best presidents. They set him up. People say, Reagan was terrible. There's just, everyone has so much revisionist history on him. You wanted to mention you get more likes if you extend your outro to 20 or 30 seconds. Yeah, well, what I need to do is I need to tell people to like the video at the start. I don't really have a cadence for doing that right now. But if I tell people to like the video at the start, I'll probably get a like rate of like 100 likes per 1,000 views or around there, which is really good. But honestly, the thing is with these likes, I don't even know if it helps with views. I mean, I guess it does. It's just, it's, I mean, because I have 2 videos that have extremely high like rates, and it's not like the views got any better, so I don't know. But I mean, I would imagine it does in general. Just, I got to come up with like a cadence to tell people to like the video at the around the beginning of it. Because it's, I mean, waiting till the end, you're already going to lose some people. Pretty much everyone is watching at the beginnings. We've got some low budget trolls. Nixon wasn't as bad as he's portrayed. Well, he's gotten a lot of support I've seen on social media recently. Do video reactions. I don't know. I never really got into that genre. Those got deleted. I don't know. Those numbers were really good. I don't know if they were not true or not, but 149 likes out of 500 is good. I mean, that's pretty good. Talk about crypto so more people will stay in the stream. Yeah, that'll definitely help. Clinton better than Reagan. Well, Clinton also legitimized China and free trade. But I mean, obviously, when you sign these things, you don't know how the repercussions of it and what it's going to create. Look at leading report on 2028 primary poll. Yeah, I saw it, dude. I just had it up. I don't know. Did you just join the stream? Well, this is with Trump, and then this is without Trump. So it's Vance or Trump. RFK Jr. is second. I mean, I think RFK Jr. seems likable. I don't know. But I don't think he would ever be the nominee. His voice is just too bad, and he's barely been a Republican anyways, and he's also got the thing with the Israel stuff. Hey, Bannon is on the board. Since the EU has been moving so far left, do you believe that sometime in the 2030s, Europeans will reach their breaking point and elect more right wing? Yeah, no, I agree. The question is it going to happen fast enough before the migration to the problem is the demographics are shifting to the point to where even if you do have all these based right wing people, they might not have the numbers to be able to elect right wingers. Like, that's how crazy the demographics are shifting. But I think it's going to happen. I do. I mean, look at the European countries. I mean, to a degree, you've already got it with Italy. You've already got it with Poland. There's a right-wing party in France. There's a right-wing party now in Germany. You have, to a degree, Reform UK. Ireland is just toast. I mean, and McGregor, but Ireland is just so far left. So you're seeing it in certain places. Really, with a lot of the major European countries. Why does Bannon prefer the drifter homeless look? Yeah, I think that was he's just probably just had that look and he thinks it's just his signature. I mean, obviously at this point he thinks it's his signature. If you go on Bill Maher wearing whatever he wore, I mean, I don't think people have to wear suits and ties and things like that, but obviously he tries to go for like a disheveled type look. I guess that's just his signature thing. If somehow New Jersey flips in 2028, unlikely the map gets incredibly difficult. for Dems. I mean, I think the map is already relatively hardened based off of what happened with both Florida and Ohio. Because now there's a Republican states. I mean, they're trying to change it a little bit to make like Georgia a lean Dem. The amount of liberal migration into, obviously Atlanta is just a massive liberal hub, but now you're seeing a lot of suburban young blacks move there, liberal whites, and just the suburbs of around Atlanta are swamped with liberals, more so than like a North Carolina. And so that's why you might see Georgia tailing a little bit to the left. And I think most people, we kind of have a narrative that Georgia's going to be more left-wing. Brian, thank you for that $10. I appreciate that, man. Master DG28. Yeah, I started the campaign yesterday. I'll tell you what, you want to know something? You see that poll with Vivek Ramaswamy? He's at like 71% in terms of Ohio. I saw Jim Tressel in the poll. Jim Tressel. Is he actually running? I don't even know. He was in it. The Buckeyes coach. You don't think Vance will perform as good as Trump in Michigan or Wisconsin? I think Michigan might be challenging for Vance. Well, I mean, think about it. Trump, the one thing that we really don't like to talk about because it doesn't really matter. Trump won every swing state. The numbers were very, very close in the Rust Belt. Very, very close. But even Nevada was like a 3.5 point win for Trump. Arizona was impressive. It was like 5.5. The Rust Belt was very close. I mean, all the swing states outside of Arizona were relatively pretty close. So even with the wins, I mean, with Vance, it's just going to come down to, I think he can get more college educated than Trump, but I think the turnout's going to be an issue for Vance. It also depends. I mean, the Democrats ran a horrible candidate in 24. There's no denying it. Why did Candace Owens claim there was a sex blackmail on RFK Jr.? Because he's hanging out with Rabbi Shmuley and going on this tour about anti-Semitism, and he's the HHS director, so it's strange. But she also has people that she says tell her this stuff, and she's like this reporter now or something, so she thinks people told her stuff or something. I don't know. You say, why would Anthony just stab someone unprovoked as if you haven't seen his complexion? Well, I mean, it is just based off of the police report. I mean, to me, it's pretty clear-cut. I'm surprised there's some people saying, no, it's self-defense. I mean, if you challenge someone, that means you're not scared. If you say, touch me and see what happens, that is a challenge. Vance seems a little boyish or something for a president, but he's an awesome VP. Yeah, I think it has to do with him being a bit younger than what we're used to. Especially recently. JFK was a bad president. That's the revisionist history of today. He wasn't some Trump 1.0. Yeah, well, he's getting a lot of support from a lot of right-wingers because they're like, well, he stood up to Israel. Do you think the Israel hate has gone too far? Well, I mean, what it is, it's definitely a rallying cry because it's a lot easier than the complexness of a lot of these things. And trust me, man, I've looked into a lot of these things. I really have, because you want to know the answers to them. But a lot of times people say, well, it's as simple as the Jews. Well, a lot of times, no, it's not. But I mean, the thing is with Israel is they do have a massive control relative to their population size in the United States in terms of lobbying power, in terms of money they've gotten donated, in terms of people in high positions. So obviously people are going to put that together, but, you know. You can see Marco Rubio throwing his head in the presidential. Yeah, but I don't know. The question comes down to Vance. I mean, you know, Rubio's within the administration, obviously, and how would Rubio beat Vance? I don't see it. If Trump endorses Vance, there's no way Rubio would. Why would you run against that? You're not beating it. You're DeSantis 2.0 from 2024. I mean, what is DeSantis doing running again? It's just like, you know, there are still people that I'm happy what DeSantis did for Florida. I think people underrate DeSantis to a degree, at least when it comes to the impact he had on Florida. But I think the ship has sailed on DeSantis. That 109 number, that's not correct, man. I mean, they're double counting shit and including. I mean, look, I'm not gonna get into it, but I guess they're saying 110 now with the recent stuff that came out. Candace Owens has lost her marbles. She hates Trump now. Well, I think they think Trump is cucked for Israel, so that's why. You know, there's a subset of people that think that, so. I mean, listen, if Trump is able to get this nuclear deal with Iran, they're going to have to cope about that, because then, you know, that goes against what Israel wants. They keep foaming and saying, well, no, there's not going to be a nuclear deal. Israel's going to drag Trump into a war against Iran to destabilize Iran. If Trump could get this nuclear deal done, that would really push back against that. I mean, it wouldn't satisfy them, but it would still push back against it. From 2028, your constitutional right. Yeah, but it's a waste of vote. I mean, he's not going to be on the ballot. This is Yale polling. Yeah, I mean, this is probably right if Trump is running. I mean, it's just people love Trump. It's a Trump party. Yeah, MTG will be the new MAGA. Imagine MTG debates. Yeah, put MTG on the debate stage. That'll be good. What happened to everyone saying Trump wanted Project 2025? I'm waiting for it. Now, Project 2025, Obama took things from that Heritage think tank. It was a total psyop that they used to try and fearmonger people that Trump was going to make it like a fascist government. So obviously it didn't work. Trump won, but they had to use something. That's why, to me, I don't know. But I mean, well, the Epstein stuff is so deep. Did you guys see Charlie Kirk respond to that Epstein question? It's just so cringy. Like, how can you say that there's as good of a chance that he worked for the Saudis? How can you say that, man? There's no way Charlie Kirk actually believes that. This just doesn't. You know too much to believe that. Iran nuclear deal would also be a part of the Chinese trade deal negotiations since China purchases the majority of their oil imports from Iran. Trump may tell China they can't purchase oil from Iran. I don't know if you really want to drag that. I mean, to me, it's a pretty complicated situation with that nuclear deal. You're dragging in a whole nother thing with that trade war with China. I mean, I guess if both are happening at the same time, you might be able to kill two birds with one stone, but I mean, the goal of that negotiation is to, I mean, who knows if they already have nuclear bombs? I mean, we're talking about they're at 60% uranium enrichment. It's basically, it gives them 2 or 3 weeks. They could probably create a nuclear bomb if that's what it is. So it's like they technically pretty much already have one. Criminal referral has been sent to DOJ on Letitia James, claiming that she falsified records in order to meet lending requirements and receive favorable long-term loans. Yeah, it's all a mess with these people. Any of them that try and prosecute Trump, it seems like they're criminals. I mean that whole all of the prosecutions, the Georgia prosecution, the New York prosecution. Dude, I don't even see much info on the that situation, China Greenland. It's like a super niche thing, I feel like. I don't know. Greenland courts China. Yeah, so Greenland, I think, went to China and offered and said, because you're at a trade war with the United States, we want to. I mean, but is this seriously the only news stories picking it up? I mean, this is a super niche thing. But you would think this would be a good thing for the administration. Greenland courts China to snub to Trump. I saw this originally like in a Polymarket tweet, and I was like, seriously? That seems crazy to me. After what's been going on, I mean, doesn't this just it justifies Trump's actions in trying to secure Greenland? But yeah, I mean, there's really not much news on it, I'll be honest. Maybe the news will pick it up at some point if Trump talks about it. I don't know. It's just like all the stuff from Vance's visit. What are the odds we get Alberta? I don't think they're high at all. I mean, the you have to have Carney win, and he's the favorite, but you have to have him win. Oh, it looks like he's actually went back up a little bit from, or maybe like a few percent. I mean, he's the favorite. If liberals win, we might get some movement. That's when you could get, because remember, Trump has not singled out Alberta. He's just had, and recently he hasn't talked about it at all. It's just because of just the current situation with the news and stuff. But he would say, well, he would troll Trudeau. He would, have fun and whatever and say we're going to annex Canada and we should annex them and they should be our beautiful 51st state. But if he singles out Alberta, that's when maybe we start getting some national news attention on Alberta joining the U.S. But it would have to be after Carney wins, because then you would probably have a growing movement. I heard that people within Alberta, that lawyer, like Jeffrey Rath, or I believe that's who it is, I thought they were going to visit D.C., and if that happened, that would get some news eyes on it. But yeah, I don't know where that situation is. I think Carney obviously has to win, which would leave a disgruntled conservative base in Alberta, and then they would have a referendum after forming a focus group, because they would form a focus group and then potentially gauge on whether or not they could have a referendum to leave. I mean, and then the United States would recognize them as sovereign, and it would probably be facilitated through Trump and everything like that. If you're going to leave, I mean, you need at least an economic deal with the U.S. if you're Alberta. Can Mike Rogers flip the Senate seat? He barely lost, although that was with the Trump boost, so I don't know. 2026 race, yeah, I saw he was running. Personal rating of the Trump administration so far, I'd say like a B- right now for Trump. I think Trump's got a lot of things in the pipeline. I mean, it's really incomplete. It's just way too early. There's just no way anyone making any immediate snap reactions to the economy or anything like that. There's just so many variables involved in it, especially for somebody that's focused on 4 years and it's been 3 months. It's like not even 3%. Thoughts on Stephen A. running for president? I think it's a grift. To me, it's not really realistic. They're looking for anyone. So For Stephen A, I'm sure it would be fun to do the debates and everything like that. The Democrats, with how they are, they select people, and to me, it would be very surprising if they ended up going with Stephen. I mean, you do have the idea they're trying to go for someone maybe outside the box: Cuban, Stephen A, Jon Stewart. I mean, the Democratic nominee is selected; it's really not voted on. I mean, the establishment party and the donors, they're able to kind of maneuver their voters in a position to who they want to pick in terms of the primary process within that party. So I don't think it's a high chance at all. I think it's more so because these guys, they love attention. It is what it is. They like it. They like being talked about. How much rare earths do you think the U.S. has stockpiled? Well, we have access to a lot of rare earths. We just can't refine them. That's the problem, is refinement of rare earths. So actually being able to utilize the rare earths is something that's challenging because of the environmental factors. And the rare earths, when you refine them, the byproduct is it pollutes. There's toxins, there's chemicals. And then obviously with the environmental groups here in the United States, they're not going to like that. In China, they're able to do it, and they aggressively do it. But you know, that's really where the problem is. And so maybe Trump will push for something like that. You know, that's something tangible that you could push for, and if it happens, I think it would be great to have an independent source of rare earths, because you know, we can mine the rare earths, but then they have to go to China. This is not like, well, China's just been given all the rare earths and we have zero rare earths because they're all in China. No, we have rare earths, we can't refine them. You think Stephen A will be a better debater than Jon Stewart? I think Stewart probably knows about 100 times more than Stephen A about anything politically. I mean, are you worried that we're too fucked up and Trump can't focus because he has too many things? No, this is just what it is being the president. There's a lot of stuff you have to juggle. Juan, what's up, man? Do you think we might get the Epstein list this year? I think the ship has sailed on that, man. This is, if any reporter was worth a damn within the White House, Pam Bondi, go ask Pam Bondi. You said there was a phase 2. This is what she said. I know you guys will say, well, no, we're never going to get it. I'm just saying, this is what she said. They released the phase 1, which is obviously a total fail. She said there's going to be a phase 2. So if you're a reporter, all you have to do is ask, where is phase 2 of the Epstein files? Can you give us an update on that, please? That's it. And then we'll get at least where the administration is at in terms of their answer. But I mean, until that happens, it's probably going to be nothing. If the U.S. annexing Western Canada and Northern Territories, then the U.S. could build a rare earth refinery there due to low population. Yeah, they've got very low population in Canada. I mean, I think we could build rare earth refinery zones in the United States. We have low population in areas, but if we really wanted to do it elsewhere, I mean, you could do it on Greenland, you could do it in Canada, you could do it in Alaska, but you really don't want, I mean, it's inefficient because there's a huge deposit of rare earths in, it's called Mountain Pass, California. So I really don't want to have to, I mean, it's just inefficient to have to ship them to other places to have them be refined. Show Trump Fox News interview. What is it on Rapid? Dude, Cory Booker really is trying to run in 2028. He's seriously pushing it with this stuff. Oh, he's gonna visit the gang member? That's so inspiring. How are these reporters not stressing it? Well, it's a very simple question considering they said there was a phase 2. It's not even like you're just asking out of thin air. You said there was going to be a phase 2. It's been, I mean, if you're a reporter, look up the exact amount of days it's been so it adds to the impact of the question. It's been 37 days. Where's phase 2? What do we actually get out of our friendship with Israel? Well, they'll say intel and thwarted terrorist attacks, but the problem is the reason those countries hate us is because of our support for Israel, but we're not going to get into that. Just come on. Refining rare earths can be done cleanly, just costly. We got money. Well, I mean, how costly is it? If it's costly enough to force us to send them to China, maybe we shouldn't be doing it cleanly if we can do it in places that are remote. I mean, I don't know the amount of pollutants that gets put in the air from it, but depends how costly it is. What was the Jordan Peterson meltdown again? Another one? He had another meltdown? He's had he just had one. Or the one you're talking about where he started crying on Piers Morgan? Is that what you're talking about? Pull up the Carmelo Anthony tweet. Which one are you talking about, man? I think I have a few here. Wait, the one where he got the new house? I mean, it's crazy. Yeah, so this is the rented house that he got. 800K rented house. You can see it's like a brand new house. Like it's an Indian family renting out a house to him. The whale has entered. Supreme Court will not rule against the will of the people. If we just got Trump to win the Iowa 2028 caucus, I sue GOP over voter rights. They refuse Trump 2028. I mean, that doesn't work that way, man. This is a constitutional thing. He's just not allowed to run. I mean, it is what it is unless it gets changed. It's the 22nd and the 12th. You're not going to have him run as VP either. The 12th, he's ineligible. Something is wrong with Jordan Peterson. Yeah, well, he's got, he had a drug issue and stuff. So, but I mean, sobbing on TV like that is just not. Personal tweet. Are you talking about my tweet that I had? This kid stabbed a white kid in the chest, in the heart. They had basically a version of a GoFundMe for him. The judge brought his bail down to 250K. They used that money to get him out of jail, and then they rented a large house for him in the span of like a week. Yeah. And also a new vehicle, it looks like. I almost forgot that. He's eligible under the 22nd Amendment. Dude, come on. He's not eligible, man. You're fighting a losing case, man. He's not eligible. It doesn't matter about it not being consecutive either. He's not in jail. Nope. Nope. I think he's got like an ankle bracelet on. Ankle tracker. How are you? Had to take a trip to the heart of the woke beast at Disneyland. They still have gas power cars on some rides. It's how much they hate Elon. I never went to Disneyland ever in my life. There's definitely mixed opinions about it, Disneyland. A lot of people say just old people go and stuff, and grown-ups that love it, and obviously a bunch of families. Who's calling that a mansion? It's just yeah, that's not a mansion. It's just it is just a nice suburban house. I think they called it a mansion to kind of put emphasis on the tweet, make it have more impact. Would not be a losing battle if you join Trump 2028. Well, dude, if you want Trump 2028 to happen, we have to focus on what's happening right now. All right, there's 3.5 years. There's over 3.5 years. Trump is doing a lot of stuff right now. We need to discuss it outside of the 2028 stuff. We can talk about that when the primary happens. McMansion. Now, I wouldn't classify that as a McMansion if you look at that. Trust me, I know what a McMansion is. I guess you could say maybe it's slightly oversized. I mean, people always hate on McMansions. They call it. There definitely are some McMansions. A lot of McMansions in Texas too. Did Trump do an interview? People want me to show it. I don't know if he did an interview apparently with Fox. Dude, what kind of a pose? I've never seen Trump have a pose like this. Trump doing a little crouch down.
Mr. President, I'd like to teach you how to say, let's make America great again in Spanish. So, vamos a hacer América grande otra vez.
America grande otra vez.
Otra vez. It was so great. Mr. President, I'd like to teach.
Oh, Trump's a good sport. When are you doing a full house tour and morning routine? That's not gonna happen. Almost looked AI that photo. Yeah, that photo looked really peculiar. That's why I had to stay on it for like 5 seconds. I was like, I never seen Trump crouch down like that. I'm not trying to sound weird or anything. It's bullshit that he's even out. This is in the city you grew up from, 20 minutes from you. Yeah, well, I think where he's at is Frisco right now, Texas. Yeah, Texas is a growing state in terms of population. All those like metros are just growing like crazy in Texas. Obviously, everyone talks about Austin and the suburbs and stuff. He ended the racist allegations by saying that. Where do you see the BTC bottom, the next bear? Maybe like 100K. I mean, if it goes like 250, I can't see it going under 100 again. There's just too much money in it, the ETFs and stuff. Thoughts on Abdul Carter? Yeah, I mean, he's got an injury. I mean, good pass rusher. But I'm not a big fan of taking pass rushers top 3, top 4. Unless they're like uber ultra elite. I don't think Carter's really ultra elite. He'll be a solid player, but if Greenland makes an alliance with China, do we just fully occupy it with our military? Yeah, it would be a exercise to secure the island. We would have to secure the island if that happened. I think that's what Trump would do. But once Trump catches wind of this, or he starts talking about it, it'll be a story, I think. You see the 4chan coin is up 30% apparently. Yeah, I saw that. Dude, that coin got tanked so badly. I'm pissed off about that. It needs to go back up to like at least 2 or 3 million for me. And hopefully it goes back up a lot more than that. Yeah, I saw it was up. Hopefully Elon buys it. That would be great. Mock draft. I don't follow it close enough to do a mock. I mean, I probably know most of the first round prospects, but why would we want to take Greenland? We don't. I'm not going to explain it again, man. I mean, I've talked about this forever with Greenland. It's very important strategically, and also especially with China now involved, it becomes even more important and justified. Do you have the full Trump interview? I don't think so. I can't even find a clip of it. There is seriously something wrong. I don't know if anyone knows why my desktop search and For You page is so bad. Like, it's insanely bad. Like, look at this. You have this stuff from like 3 or 4 days ago, and then you have something from 2 hours ago. Like, why is it so bad? And also, when I go on here, you have to be a bit careful with this stuff when you search because it's unfiltered on X. What We Used to Be, this book talked about how we slowly killed our economy. It was around 2010, 2011. What We Used to Be. I'll have to look that up. Hmm. Rare earth minerals are essential for us. Securing Greenland ought to be a priority. Yeah, it's not even just the rare earths. It's just it's all of it combined. It's the security. It's the relationship they want to have with China now, and that's really bright. I don't know why that's so bright. You think Greenland is posturing and bluffing by saying they're cozying up to China just to drive up for the U.S. to drive up the price? I mean, maybe, but dude, they've been really against the United States buying. It's possible, but doesn't it just give Trump more leverage just to take it anyways? Just gives him justification. Can't believe that guy still works for InfoWars. He's a trooper. Owen Schroyer, you're talking about? Yeah, he was on there when I was searching that.
I saw the comments of President Bukele, and I look forward to meeting with them. I've requested to meet with them. I reached out to the ambassador here to ask to meet.
You don't get to meet with him. You're a nobody.
While he's here. But I've also made clear if we can't meet here, I do intend to go to El Salvador to discuss the release of this individual who is illegally detained. A Maryland man who's the father of
Maryland
3
man
in a notorious prison in El Salvador. And I believe the president of El Salvador will recognize why it's important to.
He already said he's staying.
To allow him to return to the United States of America, because it is absolutely unjust and illegal to have this Marylander detained one more day in a notorious prison in El Salvador. Of course, President Trump could have just said, bring him home. Of course he could have done that. But this is an administration that has lied about Mr. Abrego Garcia.
Yeah, I agree. It's all posturing. It's like Cory Booker going out there and speaking for 25 hours. They're grasping at straws, and they're all trying to appeal to their bases. If we take Greenland, surely they'll just hit back at Taiwan. It really doesn't work like that. I mean, they could escalate against Taiwan, but they cannot just randomly take over Taiwan. China cannot. It would have to be a full-blown, multi-level invasion, occupation of Taiwan. Taiwan is just too strong of a country. It's too hard logistically with the Taiwan Strait. I mean, they could take them, I guess, but it would be a long process. It's not like the United States just going in and, I mean, just doing nothing because there's no military in Greenland. He's a Maryland man. He's a Maryland man. Yeah, it's just all. I mean, you said they had it if you go down further. Yeah, because it was this morning, wasn't it? I thought it was like later they did the interview.
The border is very, very secure right now. And we didn't need legislation. We needed a president to say, that's it, no more.
You know how you get closed captions off of, I don't know, it's not giving me, are those on there? Or they might just be on there.
Right.
People coming in. And the other day, you probably saw the statistic. It was like for a long period of time, 9 people, and they came in because they had a medical problem. Well, we actually took them in because one of them had a heart attack, one of them had something else. No, the border is very secure. We're going to make it a longer border. I built 571 miles of wall, which nobody likes to talk about, but it's the way it is. And I had to take the money because the Senate and the House, they were not in a giving mood. So I took the money out of the military. I called it an invasion. It's an invasion of our country, and it really worked. You know, walls work. Remember when they said, the Democrats would say, you don't need walls. Well, walls, 2 things work. What are the 2 things? Walls and wheels. They'll never change.
Yes.
Everything else is obsolete immediately, but walls and wheels will never change. And
of course, walls work. It was always gaslighting by the Democrats. They talked about the fringe cases of illegals coming over in crazy ways, but 99% of them just cross the border, and you put a wall up, it stops it. It's the bottom line. And it has stopped it. If you look at the updates on the illegal immigration, if you seal it, the wall has to be continuous going all the way. The problem is they can't do that because of the terrain, but they're doing it as good as possible. Country has so many damn rare earths in places like Oregon, Colorado, California, Nevada, but there's so many damn regulations. Well, it's the refinement of the rare earths that's the problem. Hopefully that would be different on Greenland to a degree. It would have to be, I mean, if we acquired them.
as you probably know, we're doing a self-deportation. And we're going to make it comfortable for people, and we're going to work with those people to come back into our country legally.
¿Está
The good ones.
funcionando la autodeportación?
Well, we're starting it. We haven't started it right now. We're getting the murderers out. We have our total aim on the very bad ones, as you can imagine, because you have some great people that came in, but we have some very bad ones. We had 11,088 murderers. Half of them killed more than one person. These are rough, bad people. We want them out. And that's mostly our focus.
Yeah.
But what we want to do is we're going to have a self-deportation program, which we haven't even announced yet. I guess I'm announcing it to you. Why not, Rachel? Here it is. The only thing I haven't determined is what are we going to do? We're going to give them a stipend. We're going to give them some money and a plane ticket. And then we're going to work with them. If they're good, if we want them back in, we're going to work with them to get them back in as quickly as we can.
Well, I mean, let's not do that. But, I mean, I think the administration realized how many there were and said the amount of money we would have to spend deporting these people, trying to find them, the resources would be just so outrageous. They're trying to do this new self-deportation. I don't know. We'll see if this works. Like you said, immigration has helped kill the country's culture. It's sad. Well, and it's so obvious too. That's the thing. It's so obvious. I mean, you bring in other cultures, it's going to kill the current culture that is within the country. Talks about his energy that he has. Talks about the Supreme Court and the gang member that everyone's been talking about. The border is 100%. It's perfect now.
All I can say is we're trying like hell.
Yeah.
Okay, you know, it's really not. If it's
Yeah.
up to me, 100% I can promise. But I have some strange people I deal with, and we have to get it approved. But the no tax on tips I love. No tax on overtime is incredible. No tax on Social Security for the
Yeah, but how are we going
seniors.
to pay
Great.
for it?
And the deduction of interest. You buy a car, and if you buy the car, and it's only if it's made in America, otherwise who cares, right? But if, and more factories are moving back. I think you see that. Everybody sees it. A lot of people don't like talking about it, but everybody sees it. We have record number of car factories coming back, and other factories too. You just saw today on the computer chips and all of the things related to computer. You see what's going on?
Yes.
It's crazy, even beyond my wildest expectations. But the answer on the question is that will I try and do those three things? Plus, I would like to add the interest on cars if it's made in America. I'm trying like hell.
I love it.
Right. Well, we'll see what happens with the, you know. I think these are things he can get done. I don't know how much money the government will lose because of the no. I mean, I think these are things that he can get done. The income tax is something I don't think he can do, but. People will take major advantage of no tax on tips. Yeah, I mean, if you introduce stuff like that, there's going to have to be, you know, restrictions to certain things. But no tax on tips, it's kind of interesting because I know a lot of restaurants, they don't even have to pay minimum wage because of the amount of tips that they get, the people get. And then it's like, do you report the tips or not? Is English now the official language of the country? Yeah, I believe that was an executive order from Trump. English, the official language now. I mean, it always was the official language, man. We know that. Why can't we get absolute no taxes on crypto, like no taxes at all? Yeah, imagine that. People would be pissed. People in the stock market would be pissed at us, man. They're not gonna do that. Most people don't report their tips already. Yeah, the tips that I think have to be reported are like a lot of it is turned digital. You guys will see it when you have to tip, you know, you want to add a tip and whatever on the tablet. So a lot of it's like that. So I think that automatically gets reported, but a lot of people don't report them. But I mean, tipping culture has gotten crazy, and I think you should tip. I mean, you go to a restaurant, that you should tip. You know, it's just where the tipping culture is in the United States, but it has gotten out of control with other things, just like retail and stuff, and asking us people to tip if at like a freaking clothing store. He did say no tax on U.S. based crypto. I know, but what does that mean exactly? It seems like that's going to be a miserable thing to try and like siphon through all the cryptos. And all right, well, which one, like U.S. based? What about meme coins? If the meme coin was made in the USA, it's not going to be it's not going to be taxed. I mean, I think he meant like the major coins, the higher market cap coins. But I know it's like an incentive for people to buy and grow crypto in the United States. You're not tipping at Little Caesars. That's crazy. Well, I mean, if you go in to pay, it depends if they bring you your pizza or you go in to pay. If you get it delivered, it probably should. Little Caesars is gross. I might have. I think the only time I had Little Caesars was at like at a pizza party when I was in elementary school or middle school, some shit like that. Yeah, like ADA and XRP, for example. But what does this mean for Bitcoin? I know it's like it's such a weird thing. You know, Bitcoin. It's a gray area. Thoughts on Tim Pool? Biblical conservative influencer. El Salvador president tweeted in a video. Bukele? What did it say? What did he say? You ever hit home runs in Little League Baseball? I hit like 3 home runs in my Little League career, maybe. One of them was off a grounder because there wasn't enough outfielders. Yeah, I mean, not very many. Remember the farthest ball I hit? It was only a double, but I cranked a baseball once. It was a surprising occurrence for me. It was like down the left field line. You watch Dave Smith, Douglas Murray on Rogan? Yeah. They're just trying to police speech. I don't know, man. Murray just came off really weak. It seemed like he wasn't even trying to argue, and it was more so about, oh, you shouldn't be talking about this because you're not an expert, and you claim to be an expert, but then they said, no, we don't claim to be an expert, and why? Then he asked Rogan about why he's having all these people on, and I don't know. It's just like tone policing, but like times 10. Like, you shouldn't even talk about this. It's Ethereum dropping again, dude. It can't go any lower. You often relive your sports achievements and fails. You do have core memories. It's interesting with sports. I could probably pluck some core memories in all my sporting events and stuff, or not just like when I played basketball, when I played football, when I played baseball. Weren't we supposed to get news on negotiations and deals today? I don't know. I mean, it's really it's hit or miss with the administration when it comes to what's going to come out on that type of stuff. Complaining about Operation Warp Speed, saying Trump. I mean, Warp Speed was definitely a bad moment for Trump. I think everyone could agree with that. To me, it's like Trump wants to, wants to be first to everything, and so he did Warp Speed and stuff. You think the Democrats would praise him for that? I guess sometimes they do, because I heard them say that's the only good thing he did. So it's just funny, but. Says Trump's a snake oil salesman, no longer trust Trump. Yeah, I mean, there's people that there's some people that come out against him now that a lot of this is like, well, Trump has, I don't know. What is happening with Russia, Ukraine? Nothing good. There needs to be movement somehow on that. I don't know. I think that Russia is unwilling to come to a deal right now. That's what it looks like. Ukraine already signed a ceasefire, a full ceasefire. Russia didn't do that. And it seems like Trump is kind of pressuring Putin now. He's getting angry. He's getting a little bit... His patience is wearing thin. See Biden give his speech today. Yeah, I mean, I saw a little of it. He was like talking about black kids and stuff. Typical Biden.
And I had never seen...
Why is this not loud?
I'd never seen hardly any black people in Scranton at the time and I was only going in 4th grade. And I remember seeing the kids going by at the time called colored kids on a bus going by. It was 50 years. It's hell turning 40 years old anyway.
Yeah.
Thank you. So good to be here.
The thing is I can't do it with the music because it'll just get copyrighted. It's so stupid. Why has Trump not announced deals yet? Thought they were very close. Well, it takes a long time to do a trade deal. So these take time. So I think Argentina will be announced soon. Ukraine immediately broke the energy infrastructure agreement. Well, they probably both broke it, man. I mean, like it's dumb anyways. We're gonna have a ceasefire, but just on certain things. Like, come on. Hong Kong suspends postal service for all goods being sent to the U.S. part of trade war. President doesn't sound racist while sounding very racist. Biden. Yeah, you have to just, with Biden, I wonder how much he got paid for that speech. You know, to get him to go out, that's all. It's got to be a lot. If it's like a 5-minute speech. 100K per minute. Putin is old. Old nuts are hard to crack. Well, also it's Russia in general. I mean, you know it's going to be a whale of a time getting them to agree on something. Is the Israel issue the new abortion now? In what sense? I mean, the abortion thing is to me, abortion is, I think Republicans that are against abortion are absolutely right, but I also think in terms of electability, it's you cannot harp on it because it's one of those things to where, and normally I don't really think that about too many topics, to where I think like the general public and like this whole women's rights and all that, it just never made any sense. Women's rights, yes, don't have unprotected sex. There's consequences if you do, or there may be consequences. I don't like it. To me, it seems so ridiculous. Like we're just talking over each other with this stuff. What, my body, my choice. Yes, if you have unprotected sex, that's your choice. There's going to be consequences. You can't spawn kill the thing. And then they mention the fringe cases and the SA and stuff, and it's just like when you mention when you're arguing the exception, you lose the you lose the argument. Both parties support Israel, generally speaking, so it's not. Well, Israel's a lot more complicated now. A lot of Democrats, some of the Democrats don't support it. Pretty much all Republicans still support it, at least in that are in Congress. Russia already won the war. I mean, we'll see what the deal is, the peace deal. That it'll depend on. I mean, that seems like Russian cope. If they, I mean, you know, you could argue if they get, they'll swing it, of course. I mean, listen, it's like they're way more powerful than Ukraine. So if it's just them against Ukraine, even with NATO weapons, the Russians should do well. Is everyone forcing Trump to speed run his presidency? He's in here for 3 months. You got clowns here thinking he's done nothing for 4 years. Well, it's just the reactionary culture of the internet nowadays. Right, like we have to sit here and defend this situation with the economy. This is a very long-term thing that Trump is doing. I really can't say, that's why I have to constantly say things are in the pipeline, because what do you think of the dollar's decline? It should be bullish and good news. Obviously, permitting that it stabilizes. Thank you for that. Bernie Sanders Coachella speech. So, yeah, this is what they got Bernie Sanders doing now. Bernie Sanders oligarchy. Buses are dropping off. Are you serious? They're doing this again? Oh, there's just one bus.
Sanders and AOC right here. We got the bus dropping people off here.
They're all NPCs.
US
They're all
VIP
NPCs.
bus.
Oh.
So they're getting buses
Why are
dropping
they
these
all the
folks
same
off.
height?
Bakersfield.
They're all 5'4". I don't know if that's what that is. I mean, they're going to freaking pay people.
When Donald Trump looks out at this crowd and they pay attention to this stuff, and Elon Musk does, you are scaring the hell out of them.
It's amazing. They talk about Bernie Sanders gets 2,000-3,000 people.
He lied. There are people a half a mile away.
Elon is so desperate to try and discredit this
He gets 2,000 or 3,000 people, and they got so angry. They're trying to. Dude, what if Trump just said, I saw at his last rally he got 500 people? They would really get angry.
grassroots movement.
And instead of facing the reality that working class people are fed up with billionaires like him, Musk decides to claim the crowd was full of paid protesters.
Anybody here get paid to come today?
Yeah.
So I invite the president to come to LA. Tell the
Why would Trump go
people
to
here
LA?
why you think it's a
Hellscape.
great idea to cut Medicaid and nutrition and health care so you can give tax breaks to billionaires. The people of LA would love to hear that. Musk and his friends see you as nothing more than workers to be disposed of. They got rid of tens of thousands of federal workers. They don't give a damn about you.
Bernie's
And what
a
we
Dodgers
have
fan,
got to
he's
do is
cosplaying.
say, sorry, we are human beings. Because they know what you know and what I know, is that they are the 1%, we are the 99%.
You're the 1%, Bernie. How's your book sale? MTG. Oh, this liberal wine boy. This wine taster. Really? Oh, they ripped his shirt off.
Thank you.
Thank you. MTG. Go ahead.
Thank you.
They got another one.
Don't move. Stop.
They tased the hell out of him.
This is a peaceful town hall. Now, this is a peaceful town hall, ladies and gentlemen. This should not have to happen. This is a town hall. So I'd like to start with our first video.
Yeah, well, when they get told over and over again Republicans are terrorists, this is the response. They try killing Trump, shooting him in the head, and then they just flail like this and they firebomb Teslas. Eight cops for one guy. Yeah, they were like trying to maul him there. But I mean, they got like heavy police. It's good they have heavy police security. I mean, you want to take care of those people. It's disruptors. Isn't Trump not cutting Medicare or Social Security? They keep bitching. I mean, Trump really should look into the fraud in that. But yeah, he said he's not cutting any of it. He never once has said he's going to cut any of it. It's all a psyop. They have to cling to something. It's like they're clinging to this Garcia immigrant. They can't bring back a green card holder even with error. Is that what Garcia is? They can't bring him back because El Salvador won't extradite him. Thoughts on Candace Owens siding with Harvard over refusing to enforce Trump federal laws regarding anti-Semitism, DEI? Well, I agree with Trump on DEI. So yeah, no, I mean, the anti-Semitism stuff, obviously it's Israel. Yeah, we get it. All right. It's like, but no, DEI, I agree with Trump. What did the old man do to MTG? I think he was just bitching at her and she's just being obnoxious. I don't know. I mean, it's for it to escalate to that. Carl, thank you for that. How many billionaires did they brag about voting for Harris again? Right, exactly. How do they still not get that they're all controlled, OP? Well, they always get more donations than Republicans among the ultra rich every single cycle. Midterms, really any major or local election. Even that election that Elon Musk, the Supreme Court Wisconsin election, they got more money even with Musk donating. And like they made this huge thing about Musk and how much money he was giving. They still got more money. That Susan Crawford got more money. It's insane. Like, how would they bitch about money or all these rich people? Their party takes in more money. You would think it would be like, oh my God, all these evil white men they're all donating to Republicans and we're just the little engine that could, the Democrats, and we're just this party of hope, and they always have way more TV ads than us, and that's the only way they can win. It's the absolute opposite. Defund federal funding to universities. Yeah, I've heard that. It's really what they need to start doing. Because these universities, it's a tailspin with especially with the young women, just turning them liberal. Trump just wants Alberta because Texas refineries. Well, I mean, honestly, he really hasn't said anything about Alberta in specific, man. We've just kind of talked about Alberta. He hasn't said anything. He's talked about all of Canada. Harvard is pro DEI. Yeah, all of those universities are very pro DEI. They all have quota systems in terms of their admissions. And I'd like to. I might have to find a freaking Real Clear Politics night mode. I haven't been on Real Clear Politics in forever. I wonder if they have the scorecard on the polling. They still don't have it? Come on. I thought they had it. That's pretty crazy they don't have that. AOC announces Senate run. Look up track, APAC. Yeah, I mean, I've seen that. Grok sucks. Yeah, did you see they're coming out with Grok 3.5? I think in May. And then the 4 is probably coming out in September or October. Because I'm looking at buying Grok 4, the coin. But the 3.5 now is coming up, so it's caused the 4 to fall in price. W, it's nice to see you, man. Been a while, man. You were asking, what question would I ask Trump in the briefing? Well, I mean, I'd have to definitely think hard if I only get one question. But I mean, you'd have to do a question that he wouldn't sidestep too. There'd have to be some wiggle room there. Because you could ask him a really hard-hitting question, he'd just sidestep it. Been following a couple years now. Keep up this growth rate. You'll be at 1 million by 2020 election. See you in the next stream. All right, man. I'll see you, man. Did you hear about the ex-Facebook whistleblower testifying before Congress about Facebook's close relationship with China? Yeah, the Meta hearing. Zuckerberg was huge Dem donor before. Oh, absolutely. 400 million, more than Musk in 2024. Zuckerberg was 400 million in 2020. Musk was 250 in 2024. They only talk about Musk like controlling an election when you've got a example of a higher Dem donor, and also Soros. I mean, they just get so much more money. Pritzker. What's the big news? The big news is Trump learned how to say "Make America Great Again" in Mexican. Spanish. What do you think about the Nico Emilava thing? Yeah, Nico, the quarterback from Tennessee. He overshot his value. It's just terrible. It's terrible for the sport, for college football. I don't know what Tennessee's going to do. I guess they like their backup, but it's just terrible. He should go to Tulane. Now he'll go to North Carolina. I don't know where he's going to go, but he'll go with Bill Belichick. He's not even that good. Can you speak on JB Pritzker electability? 0. Fat billionaire, 0 chance. People wouldn't vote for him. He's best off as a donor for whoever. That's what it's going to be. When is the Ireland stream? What, stream me going to Ireland? Ireland is very, very liberal. It would be a good IRL stream. Does Mark Cuban run? Yeah, he's probably either he's gonna be a big part of 2028. He was a part of 2024, but now I think he's like fully into politics. He sold the majority or pretty much all of the Mavericks. So he'll either run, I'm guessing he's gonna gauge his interest, like if it's even worth it for him, or he'll get behind somebody. Latest on Russia, Ukraine, they're still killing each other. Yeah, they are. There's really no ceasefire anymore, so they're going to have to come to some type of agreement, hopefully at some point with Trump's help, but when that'll happen, I really can't tell you. Do you think you'll blend in being 2 feet taller than NATO's? Yeah, I mean, I would probably be their exact height. How do you feel the U.S.-China trade war will play out? What kind of deals have to be made? Well, I mean, I think it'll probably be a very complex trade deal that gets worked out. They'll likely be compromised to a degree on both sides, but the deficit's going to have to get cut to a degree, so China will have to pledge to cut the deficit. But it's more so as well just the predatory nature of, I mean, I think there's going to be some tariffs that have to stay on China. I mean, this is like, you do a trade deal with them, but the goal is still the same. It's to onboard domestic manufacturing to a degree. I mean, in sectors that you can do it. So there's going to have to be tariffs that stay on China. It's not going to be like this with all the other countries to where we remove them. I'm sure you're going to see a lot of these other countries announce with the United States free trade deals to where everything's removed and the trading barriers get knocked down. But with China, I mean, there's a lot more at play in terms of, you know, people now coming out saying that there's just a lot of nefarious actions that happen within China in terms of them stealing our ideas, knockoffs being, you know, it's just, they do a lot of things that U.S. companies do not appreciate. And so a lot of it's going to have to be involving that as well. So I don't really know. I mean, I think there'll probably be a pledge by the Chinese to bring the deficit down, but some of the tariffs are going to have to remain on. You're not going to get most of it. I mean, Trump, we already had tariffs on China as it is under Trump's first term, and then Biden kept them on. Check your For You page. I know, but my For You page on here is really... Oh yeah, this woman. But yeah, this is the home. This is 4 beds, 3 baths, 3,300 square feet. I mean, you can see the exact area. Oh, they added a little shoe thing for you to put your shoes. Like little. $825K. They rented out the home. Will you get the Nintendo Switch? No, I will not. I can't afford it with the tariffs. No, I wasn't gonna buy it anyways. Yeah, -5 times 5 it's a positive 25. $860K is crazy. Those houses used to go for 400K. Yeah, I mean it's just the housing market. I could see it like 500, but 860 is just so outrageous. You spent $100 on a sweater. Is that normal? I guess it depends where you got it from. $100 seems pricey. I mean, it depends what it is, though. I'm not really a good gauge on clothes and stuff like that. I normally buy stuff. I mean, I guess to have a style is important to a degree, but I'm really just behind the camera mainly. I mean, I just am in the corner, so. If the Dems win in 2028, you think they'll throw the border open again? Well, of course they're going to make it easier for them to come in, absolutely. That's exactly what they did in 2021. But the way they do it is they'll swing it to make Trump seem like this tyrant. That's what they did. Because remember, we had a relatively secure border in 2021. The wall wasn't fully completed, but it was. But then they ended all of those policies that Trump had because they called him a tyrant and said that what he was doing was horrible and you're not allowing people to come in at all and all this stuff. Your grandparents bought their house for $53K back in 1967, now valued at $850K. Well, they must have done renovations on it then. For it to retain its value like that from 67. Also, it depends where, you know, they got in a good area, good schools, clean area, suburban area. You see Tulsi husband got death threats. Pretty much everyone is going to get death threats if you're in the public spotlight, especially conservatives will. It's the unfortunate reality. When do you think I'll cut taxes? It would be the next bill that comes, which I think they have right now. They're trying to pass it through the Senate. I don't know if that's I'm not sure if that's the one or not. But it'll be in a future bill. Remember the Bobby got to take my meds clip? That was a legendary clip, yeah. Have you ever gotten death threats? I mean, I'm really not mainstream. I mean, I guess there's been people that have been mad at me, but I don't even know if I've gotten death threats, but it's nothing crazy. But again, I'm not mainstream. If you get mainstream, you're pretty much going to get them. Because it's just the way it is with how polarized everyone is politically. What happened to TikTok? It was another extension. There's another 90-day extension granted on it from, you know, being removed from the App Store, and so it's delayed again. They're trying to work out a deal still. And it's available, I guess, in the United States still. 53K adjusted is 603K. And now they're saying it's worth 800. Yeah, but even still, I mean, you'd have to renovate that house. It's home built in 67. How's weed coin? Dude, I'm hoping for one more pump. I'll take a look at it. When I was looking at it, it wasn't doing too well earlier today. Oh, it's on a nice pump. Hopefully it can hold. 32%. Yeah, listen, I'm hoping for one more really good pump from weed coin. Just give me to like 4 or 5 million, man. That's all I want. 4 or 5 million. What do you think about the senator from Maryland wanting to go to El Salvador? Yeah, I played the clip earlier. It's all just performance art, posturing. No. What are the odds AOC or Newsom become the Dem candidate for 2028? I'd say pretty low for both. I think AOC, VP possibly. I think Newsom, they're not going to really touch. I know Newsom has the whole, well, he's presidential and he can talk well. I don't know with Newsom. I mean, it's a coastal elite. Oh, they're all selling now. That's great. Thing just dipped by freaking 600K in market cap. I don't appreciate that. Weedcoin may pump up between 3 to 5 million. Yeah, hopefully. I mean, hopefully. I'm just looking to make something of it, and then I'll have to rotate. Other than Israel, what are your thoughts on Ben Shapiro? I mean, it's kind of hard to take that out. I mean, he is Jewish, but I mean, he's a smart dude, but just kind of like I would say pretty standard Republican. Sell it now. Doesn't make sense to sell it now. You're paper handing it. Why is Ukraine saying they are making advances? I thought they were getting exhausted. I don't know, man. I haven't looked at I haven't looked at a recent map. Claimed limit of Ukrainian advance. Yeah, but this is still part. This is the border right here. I mean, I'd have to see a time lapse of this front line to see if they're pushing them back at all. Where was the area that they owned into Russia? I think it was like up here. And then Russia took it back. Yeah, I mean, that's a decent sliver. It's like, what is it, 1/5 of the... It doesn't feel like one. It feels like 1/6 of the country, but say it's 1/5 of the country. Trump is losing patience with Putin. Yeah, he is. You can tell. I mean, but at a certain point, there's going to have to be a coming to God moment there with that, because he's said twice now he's getting annoyed. But I mean, he's also said stuff about Zelensky. Now Zelensky wants to buy these Patriot missiles or whatever. It's like a missile package for $15 billion, and Trump said, no, you started the war. We're not going to do that. The buy sell for, well, I mean, buying and selling, like the actual buy sell, that's not really important. Just depends on the amount, because you'll get bots that buy it all the time, and especially that they have a bot deployed that buys and sells. I mean, it's like Fox just posted that Pete was removed over plans leaked. What do you mean? Second to Pete. Yeah, the dude. Thoughts on Ukraine splitting into two different countries, West Ukraine and East Ukraine, like Germany? But you think it'd be better to keep Russia happy, give them like a proxy East Ukraine? I never heard that. I've never heard of that idea, really. It seems like it's just going to be the control of this area right here for Russia. What's the map showing? It's the amount of land that up to the date, I guess, up to the day, the amount of land that Russia has into Ukrainian territory. I mean, I wish there was a time lapse. I want to see if they're actively gaining. This is back. Oh, this was 14 hours ago. This is updated recently. Russia grinds forward to the... Yeah, it seems like a really grinding war right now. Russia's making advances. Ukraine wanted to do that territory swap when they had Russian land. I don't think they have that land anymore, do they? No, it would show up, I think. That's not where it would... It's right up here. That's on U.S. versus Iran war. Who wins and why? I mean, it's not. We're not going to go to war. There's no reason for us to go to war with Iran. Seriously. I don't even like over them possibly having a nuclear bomb. It's like. I mean, that's another Middle Eastern shithole war. We just need to invade Greenland. Yeah, we wouldn't even have to. It's not even an invasion. You don't even call it an invasion. They don't have a military. War of attrition is what Russia does best. It's turned into that for sure. Limit of Ukrainian advance. Well, I don't even think they have much of an advance anywhere. That's where it was right there. Limited Russian military control. So maybe Ukraine has like a very slight sliver. But I don't know. That was April 14th. They might still have a very slight sliver. But it's basically nothing. Yeah, see, they lost it. This is their control. This is Russia's control. Remember when Ukraine decided to invade Russian territory in Kursk? That was when Ukrainians really messed up. And well, I mean, they wanted to do it as a territory swap, and then they proposed a territory swap. You know, is like, well, if we can get this, it's a bargaining chip. They wanted that land as a bargaining chip. They didn't keep it though. Trump drone strike Mexican cartels. I mean, it's I don't have the information to know on whether or not that's a good idea. could really blow up in your face if you do that. But it can also possibly, you just have to be careful with those type of things, because then you destabilize the country to a degree. And if I would say it would probably go well, but they need to have the intel to make sure that it's not going to create an even worse situation. You know, you almost talk about like regime changes in the Middle East. It always ends worse off. You think, oh, it's going to be good because the individual in charge is terrible, but then it ends up worse. Like, you do these strikes, but then you create a power vacuum. I don't know. It might work out. It's a lot more complex than just, we drone striked all of them, now there's no more cartels. It's just not how it works. Ukraine has taken 1/900th. Dude, I don't even know if that is. It might be like 1. Can I not even see this, man? Yeah, that's what they have right there. They have like a sliver right here and a sliver right here, and they actually have some right here. How does this even get reported? Like, we have military personnel here. We've seized a city on the border, on the outer Kursk region. Russia is richer than you think. Putin has many cards to play. Well, I mean, this is because there's no NATO involvement. I mean, in terms of, like, military. So, obviously, Putin's going to have a lot of cards to play. He's got a much stronger military than the military he's fighting. You've been to Mexico. The cartels control everything, even the cops. I know. So it's a completely destabilization. Why do you think their politicians are saying no? Don't do anything. It's an act of war if you do something against our cartels. I don't know if they actually said that, but they said something like that. Limited control. Still don't have it. Yeah, that limit of Ukrainian advance. Limited Russia military control. Oh, so you're saying that it's still being fought over? They haven't fully forced them back? Mark that down and immediately call for a ceasefire. We've captured a centimeter of Russian territory. We're going to use that as a negotiating play. We have captured a town with a population of 12. Russian town. Use that as negotiation. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this live stream. I'm going to end it here. You think World War III is brewing? Hopefully not, man. Everyone always says that. Do you think relations with Russia would be different if Russia wasn't converted to communism during the First World War? Well, obviously that's a major component of Russian history. Because then, I mean, the communism is part of the reason that the Cold War happened, the main reason. Communism versus capitalism in the West. Make closing statements. Well, what did we, like, the thing is what did I even talk about here? Oh, have you seen this? Look at this. Lipstick wearing man accused of firebombing, scrolling swastikas on Tesla. Oh my god. Oh man. Alright, we'll go ahead and end it there. What was the force of forcing all the dumb chicks into space? Female empowerment, I guess. I don't know. I think people just saw through it, and it's just a hacky thing with just a bunch of plastic surgery women. It's just all bad. How often do you stream? I stream like 7 to 8 o'clock. Sometime around 7 Eastern, 8 Eastern, basically. Sometimes 7:30, sometimes 8. Maybe sometimes later than that, but normally 7 to 8. All right, I'll see you guys.